start streaming. And then what? Starting. Okay, so starting receiving content. You'll also see it in a moment. Get ready.
Oh, here it is.
Does it show anything? Okay, there it goes. Buffering. There's a buffer.
There it is, yep.
Okay.
You're live.
Alright.
That's good.
Interesting. So now if I record, I can just post it later, right?
Yeah.
So, start recording. We'll post this later and I'll edit it up. Alright, so I highly doubt anybody will jump in here. So I want you to watch this live on here and just pay attention to the chat. I doubt anybody hops in the chat. So anyways, let's give it a try, right? Never streamed before? This is how you learn, by freaking doing it.
Yep.
Okay, so it's laggy.
Yeah. There's just a slide in that.
Interesting. Can you move this light right here? Pull this side right here a little bit more. Okay, that's good. All right. Nobody's gonna connect. I'm just trying to think of like what to say, because I'll edit this
The
out.
file for everything.
Yeah. Is the audio picking me up?
There's the notification.
Okay. So you're able to stream and watch it? So it's actually streaming? Can you hear anything?
No, yeah, you haven't talked yet.
Oh, because it's got a delay?
There it is.
Alright, interesting. Okay. Oh, because it's got a delay. Huh. Alright, I think I should just start, because I don't think anybody's going to connect.
No.
And then just be one of those, like, I'll just edit certain stuff out. Does that make sense? Do you think it's a good idea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's keep this rolling. Alright, I guess we'll begin. Never streamed before. This is completely foreign to me. I feel like I'm under the floodlights. So today we're going to be building the new Fanatec, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's the Porsche, the Podium Cup GT3 R wheel. Just got it in the mail, been trying to get it for several months now. But I figured let's just put it together in a stream to test streaming, because I've never done it before. So all this is going to be basically me doing is building this and explaining some of the parts that I see. So if people want to watch this video later down the road and want a little bit more detailed opinion on how this wheel looks in person, just watch this video. I honestly don't really know what I'm doing. So this is all basically brand new to me. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. You see everything laid out in front of me. For some reason, Fanatec, they like to send all their components not put together. I guess they like having people put their stuff together, or maybe because they sell it individually. I don't know. I don't know Fanatec's reasoning behind it. But they send you everything in pieces, and everything comes in a completely different box. So this will come in its own box, this will come in its own box, etc. The pieces that I did buy were the Porsche Podium wheel, and I'll unbox all these in real time so you guys can see it. If you guys need me to zoom in on things, I will zoom in. I'll hop up and zoom. This is just me in here. My son's watching, but I don't want him messing with anything. Nothing against you. It's just, let me zoom it in and everything. So this is the universal hub wheel rim. So we'll box everything here in a minute. I'm going to try to keep everything within frame so everything's not clipping. I have multiple stream frames going on. And then the Podium Advanced paddles. These are the carbon fiber magnetic shifter paddles. The actual Podium, I think it's the Endurance, right? So this is the actual pod that makes it technically the Porsche replica GT3 with that wheel. And then this is just the Podium hub. This is the new Podium hub that goes for the Podium wheel. I'm running a DD2 on my setup. I've never had one of these, so I don't know how the lockup is going to be with a quick disconnect. But I'm assuming it's going to be better because I've been running the universal hub on my oval rim that I use for rally. And I hope this is better, because if this locks up better, I may be swapping out the universal hub that I have on my oval rim and using the podium hub instead. So I'm going to be building this in lifetime, and I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff pulled out of the way. I also got the button pack for it because I like to have custom buttons and stickers. I have other stickers too that I might use. I'm not going to hook these up. I'm not going to install these because it's kind of a personal preference on what kind of stickers and buttons you want to run. So I just wanted to share that I did get them, and I will be setting them up later on, but these are kind of irrelevant for today, so I'm going to set these aside. Today I'm going to be using my iFixit kit. If you don't have one of these and you do a lot of electronics, I suggest you get one of these. These things are amazing. They have all sorts of, let me get this stuff out of the way. I'm going to do this stuff one at a time. The wheel will be last, the endurance will be last, and then the pedals. Yeah, we'll make this all in order. So we're going to do that one first. But my iFixit kit is basically a driver kit. Let me get this behind it. Again, don't know what I'm doing. This is all basically learning experience. It has all sorts of tools you'll need to build electronics. So if you're going to do a battery replacement on your phone, you're going to put one of these wheels together. Computer work, fantastic kit to have. Not sponsored by iFixit. I just promote that because I do like this kit, and for how much it is, I think it's like $90 or $100, worth every penny to get. These tweezers, it came with the buttons. I'm not going to be using that. So anyways, this will be up here. I'll try to keep this somewhat in frame. Is that in frame? I think it's in frame. Yeah, I know I'm using a janky tablecloth. This is kind of a last minute thing. That's all right though. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, is this in frame? I can't tell. I don't think it really matters. Anyways, so the Fanatec Podium Hub. I have opened all this stuff. I wanted to make sure that it came to me intact and nothing got damaged. So to unbox the Podium Hub, everything's pretty much in these nice black boxes, premium quality foam. So it's got a little foam top cover and then the quick guide to it, which I might have to refer to because I've never put a Podium Hub together. But it's pretty much all self-explanatory. I've put these wheels together before. So I'm going to set that aside, this foam aside. And I'm going to pull the hub out, which usually with Fanatec, they have these things super laser cut in there. There we go. So there's the hub. Set that down. And then it has a, so this screw they send, I don't know why you'd use this. Actually, that doesn't make any sense because this screw is usually meant to lock in this recess right here. I'm not sure if anybody can see this. If I need to zoom in, I will. But that goes in here to lock this in on, I think, the Club Sport wheel series, but I don't think you're ever going to be using this on a Club Sport. I mean, you can, but this is like a $300 or $400 hub. And if you're using that on a $400 wheelbase, I don't know, to each your own, it's your money, but it seems kind of overkill. And this thing's beefy, man, this thing is heavy, so I won't be using this screw. And I won't be using this tool because I have my iFixit kit. Set this out of the way, and I probably just clipped it right there. This thing's actually pretty nice. Quick disconnect, it's got nice gliding motion to it, it's got ball bearings on the inside. There's the typical pin setup that hooks up to the hub itself, excuse me, the wheelbase itself. It's all built aluminum. It's a hard plastic piece in the dead center that's covering up on what, assuming the electronics are, is where I'm going to hook up the podium paddles. So I'm going to go ahead and take that apart. Again, this is all be a lifetime. If you get bored, sorry, but I want to learn how to stream, and the only way I know how to do it is by doing this. So I'm going to set this up here. The next thing is the Podium Advanced paddles. So these are the magnetic paddles that have carbon fiber paddles on them. You can either use, I doubt you can even see it right here, but it has the small F1 style paddles, which I have on my F1 wheel. And then but it has the normal floppy paddles, which will be used for the GT3. So we're going to use these style paddles. So we'll pop these out. And again, the boxes are all the same with Fanatec. Let's see here. Please check the download section in advance. I don't need that, it's irrelevant. Toss it down there. And again, it's a nice foam topper. Now don't throw away the top piece because that's holding all your carbon fiber paddles. Pop one of these out of here. I don't know what millimeter this is. It's probably like 2 millimeter, maybe 3 millimeter paddles, but it's all legit carbon fiber. It's real stuff. You get what you pay for when you're buying Fanatec equipment. Not to shill for them, but I like their equipment. Don't get me wrong, I like Astro Racing and I like Simucube and all that kind of stuff too, but I tend to stick with Fanatec because their stuff just works for my setup. I've never had a single problem with my setup. The DD2 has actually been fantastic. I know at launch they had some issues. I never once had an issue with it. Maybe I got a lucky one, but we'll see. I don't want, knock on wood here, that's plastic. But anyways, back to what we're doing. So the carbon fiber paddles, we'll attach those here in a bit. So I'm gonna set that up here. Actually, I'm gonna set these out of frame because we're not gonna need those for a bit. And then now it has all the screws and spacers to hook up the paddles, the actual carbon fiber paddles, to the actual shifters themselves. So we'll keep these out, we need those. In the front of the pouch, if I can get it out of there. In the front of the pouch, the silica gel pack. We don't need that. And then there's an Allen key, which we're not gonna need because I got my kit. So the paddles themselves, or the shifters themselves, man, I swear everything in here is always super laser cut. These things are amazing. I have experience with these. They are on my Formula GT3 room. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Nope, so we're going to put that box out of the way. I'm making a mess. So these things are actually quite fantastic. Actually, no, yeah, I don't want to zoom because that's going to screw everything up with the framing. So, sorry. If anybody wants to see close-up of these components later on, I can make a separate video and explaining things, but this is basically just going to be me building it, not necessarily a review. But these paddles are quite fantastic. They have magnetic action, which I'm assuming maybe you can hear. They have the typical, looks like a header plug insert, which is going to connect in the podium hub. And then the bottom one are the clutch, and it's just more of a, I forgot what that's called, but it's a more linear action. I don't know why there's a magnet on here, because it doesn't utilize it. Maybe it's for the Hall effects sensor. I'm not exactly sure. Anyways, these are fantastic. So these are what the first parts are going to go on top of the hub. So they're going to sit, I'm assuming, again, because I've never built this before, it's going to sit like this. The top is the notch. Where's the notch? So this is the top. Okay, so inside the hub, which is going to be hard to see, this little notch right here is what's going to be the top center. It also helps because the Fanatec logo is right side up. So this is the top, which has one screw, and then the bottom has two screws. So there's two screws, one. So the top will be the only one singular screw. And then these, because these are shifters that need to go like that. So this will be on this side, connected here. All right. Yep. So this will go here. We'll screw those in. That's about right. Yep. And then this will go over here. So we're gonna go ahead and set this aside. We're gonna get these screws open. And knowing me and my fashion, I'm probably gonna end up losing half this. Just like that. Let's get all these screws in frame here. Just that. Get out of here. Okay, so these main big screws is what's going to hold the actual podium shifter paddles onto the actual hub. And then these little itty bitty screws are what's going to hold the carbon fiber bits that were actually the paddles. So we're going to go ahead and place this right here. All right, so we're going to need a screwdriver, and then these are a hex bit right here. I might see what size that is. Nope, that's too small. There we go, that's perfect. And that is, the lighting's making this impossible to see. Let me turn this around because I'm gonna need to look at it. 0.09 hex, so 0.09 hex. And it comes with the tool, but if you're curious, that's what this is for. So, put that in my driver, and we're gonna feed a screw in here. And anytime you assemble anything, I don't recommend screwing it in completely tightened. Make sure that's the top, right? I don't recommend completely screwing it in. Get them both loose. That way you can line things up and then cinch everything down. So screw this in. And since they're both pretty much there, we'll go ahead and tighten these down. If you want to go overkill, because there's a lot of torque on these DD2 wheels, I may go back and put some blue Loctite on these screws just because the vibrations may cause the screws to back out, but I highly doubt it, but we'll see. If they back out, you might want to use some blue Loctite on the threads. And when you use Loctite, don't put a bunch. You're going to put like a minor little speck on there. So we'll tighten this up. And we'll tighten that one up. Oop, the driver fell out of there. Get that on there. I'm gonna face this around this way so I can see what I'm doing. I'll get this cable out of the way. And we'll go ahead and grab this other screw. Get in there. Omega. Alright. Let's thread that in. Maybe. There we go. Thread. Come on. Come on. You don't want to screw in there? There we go. I'll take the other one. And we'll put it in. So we're going to snug these up. Snug that up. There we go. Alright, so these are on there now. And again, like I said, that's the top. So if you were to look at the wheel, everything will be on the face right here, and then the shifters are right here. This already is substantial. This, man, I should have brought a scale down here, but this feels every bit of 3 or 4 pounds already. So this is gonna be a heavy, heavy wheel. Not complaining, because that thing will throw you around. So that might actually buffer some of that feedback force, but man, that thing's, you're getting what you pay for. This is pretty beefy. So in the center here, we need to take this top cap off. That's also gonna be another Allen. So if I can find my Allens here, I'm gonna bring this next to me. Is that still on there? Can I put it over here? Can I put it over here? Yeah, all right, cool. That's gonna be a tiny one. I don't even know what size that is. 5.5 maybe? Yep, so we're gonna 5.5. Keep this one out because we might need that in a bit. We're gonna take the center plastic cover off. And it looks like there's hole cutouts in here, so the wires will feed through it. And you can put this cap back on to cover the electronics in there. Get these screws out. Another great thing I like about this setup with the iFixit is you can use the lid to retain the screws, or if things are magnetic, you can toss them on this little magnetic pad that keeps the driver's set in place. So that's another cool little feature of it. But this has 3 screws on the center cap. Get that out of there. Set this over here. And inside you can see where the processor and a bunch of headers are at. So there's the main board inside here. I keep looking over my screen because I want to make sure maybe you can see the inside. But that's where the electronics are the inside. They're covered by that Fanatec cap. And the headers are inside here, which is where you're going to connect these podium shifters to. Now, kind of curious on why they made these cables really too long, to me, in my opinion. But maybe I can tuck them in here and circle it in. I'll probably end up doing that because I don't want cables hanging out getting snagged. So we're going to take the left. So this is the left side shifter, and we'll plug it into the header that's closest to it. That's at least how it worked with my universal hub. I can only assume it's the same way this way. Make sure you get everything lined up. There is a little notch. I know you're not going to see this, but on the white header plug, there's a little notch. Make sure you get that notch to match the notch inside here, because if you flip it around the wrong way, you might either damage the pins in there or break it, or it may not work. So I want to make sure this goes in the right way. And you don't want to force it in there. I want to use another little tool. It's a little plastic spudger, so I can push it in there without breaking a pin. Actually use the flat side. There we go. You'll hear it click, but you won't hear it on this video, but you'll hear it kind of just seat itself. It'll click down. That's when you know it's seated, and you can give it a little tug and it won't come out. And we'll do the other one. Maybe. Where's that notch at? Notch is right there. Place it in. There we go, and I felt it seat. A little tug, and that's good. So I think I'm actually going to be able to get away with tucking these wires in here. I'm assuming they made it that way intentional. I don't want to hurt these wires. Can I? Yeah, so this doesn't feel right. So I'm just kind of shoving these down in there. So I'm having to kind of coil it around and maybe overlap one another. I'm not too fond of doing that. Let's see here. So can I put the cap on like that? Can I? Oh yeah, look at that. Dope. So they do tuck in there really well. You're gonna have to coil the cable up a little bit, but we'll get it on there. So we'll put the cap back on and we'll put these screws back in. Remember, when you're talking like fine thread screws, not bolts, especially when it's going into plastic, do not over torque them because you will strip it out and ruin everything you're working on. So screw that in. I'll get this one popped in there. Again, not screwing it all the way down, just want to get everything lined up. And get that in there. All right, so now I'm going to cinch it down. Again, just snug, since we're using plastic. That's good. That's good. Might have to go back to that last one here because it seems like these cables are getting pushed down. There we go. This one needs to go down a little more. Oh, I can go down a little more. Oh, there we go. Now I'm feeling the bottom. There we go. That's good. There we go. The cables inside just need to be compressed. There we go. That works. You want to make sure, I'm assuming, because as a mechanic, I do my own stuff when it comes to mechanical stuff. This plastic piece needs to be on a lower level, I don't know if you can see this. It needs to be on a lower plane than these actual billet aluminum risers. That way it's not interfering with one another. But those are on there, that's cool. I think we're gonna wait until the rim is on there to put the flappy paddles on, because you have to use the spacers to adjust to your hands exactly where you want to have the carbon fiber paddles, because maybe your fingers are shorter and need the spacers to bring it towards you, or maybe you're like me with medium-sized hands and they'll be perfect without spacers, or you can be one of those tall freaks of nature, like my friend who's got, you know, ET fingers and he needs to reach around the earth to grab the carbon fiber paddle, so you might need to put them on the other side. So it allows you to space it out depending on what you need. So the next piece, we're gonna go ahead and put that right here. Lay that lid. Let's get this over here. Don't want too much on the table going on. So there's the hub. The next thing is, can I put it over here? There we go. Is the endurance module. This thing is what's going to be badass. So this thing is what starts to make it look more like the Porsche replica. Now I think you can go to the Fanatec website and you can read, I believe that they used a 1-to-1 relation. I think they used the CAD files to make this podium, the advanced podium module, button module endurance, whatever, close, to make this and the wheel. So there's going to be almost a 1-to-1 replica minus the hub. This is obviously a proprietary Fanatec thing, but for the looks of the wheel itself, the rim, and the button module, that's kind of what's making it the Porsche. But anyways, we'll open into it. Has a quick user guide, which I'm a guy, we're not gonna read that. But it does come with stickers, so you can set up however you want, which is great. I thought when I first saw this that it was kind of pre-set up and you couldn't label things where you wanted to. That's kind of a down point that I thought if that was actually how it was set up. But it's good to know that they actually do have stickers in there to set up however you want. And then of course the typical Fanatec stickers, which again, we're not setting that up, that's for a different time for me to figure out on my own. Just like every Fanatec product comes with a nice, oh that's cool, recessed foam. Don't need that. Has a USB-C to what is an RJ12. Okay, so I see what they're doing here. So if you're not hooking up to here and you want to hook up just straight to your hub, which again, I don't know why you'd be using this unless you have a DD1 or DD2. This is just an adapter to hook up to the back of your wheelbase, which I can see then causing problems, but this will never get used for my case. These are the screws to pull it down, which I'm assuming the same screws are going to be used for the wheel to hold this on here, so we'll keep these out, but I don't think these are, yeah, you can see the magnets on these things. I don't think those are going to be used. So here's the actual button modules, nothing else in here. So we can cut off out of the way, making a pile of trash over here. So there's the button module. This thing's actually quite nice. It is actually real carbon fiber, despite what I thought it would be. I thought it would be fake carbon fiber, but it's a real carbon fiber, which is nice. And again, for how much you're paying, it better be real. Has a nice little OLED display, has your shift indicator lights, has your flag lights, the funky switches, all the typical shouldn't say stupid, all the typical awesome components that Fanatec does. They have their switches and their dip switches and their buttons, and the buttons have a nice click to it. Real nice click. the housing is coated in that typical, people don't like it, but it's that soft matte rubber finish. It's not, I mean, it's plastic, but it's that soft, I don't know how to explain it. It's that premium electronic plasticky matte rubber feel. I actually tend to like the way that looks. It looks more professional and well done. But overall, it's a pretty nice piece. I'm pretty happy with it. The dials down on the bottom, they do have nice click to them. They have nice positive clicks to them. So there's not gonna be an accidental while you're driving bumping these. So if you put these for brake buys, traction control, whatever you use it for, they do have a nice positive click to them. And they are numbered, a little clear indicator around that, showing you which setting you're on, which doesn't really make any sense. I know it's a replica, but what it's basically doing is this is one button press going left, this is one button press going right. So you dialing it up to 3 is not gonna make any difference. It's just basically like hitting the same button every time you go left and right. That's how these are typically set up. Just like these up and down switches, they're all one button, one button, one button, one button. It's just how it's programmed in the Fanatec software, the Fanaled or the Fanalab, something like that. But anyways, I don't want to make this stream and video extremely long because this shouldn't take that long to build. This has the 6 screws in the back. It should line up on here. So, and then also here's the USB coming off of it. I don't want to forget to mention that. So USB-C is what's going to feed the power and then all of the buttons and all the relaying of what's inside here. I'm not going to take this apart. I don't want to avoid my warranty. I'll leave that up to Sim Racing Garage. I'll leave that up to Barry to do this stuff. But this will mount right on top here and screw in. So looks like everything clears really well. So these screws, we'll leave last because I believe there were screws in the wheel. So this all just gets bolted up together. Anyways, I'm kind of getting off track here, but this USB plugs in the bottom of the universal base. So this microprocessor and the board in here will actually feed all the information, the telemetry data, and all that jazz to the Podium Advanced. So it's all kind of a nice, neat package. There's no doily USB coming off like you'd have on a SimuCube or I can't think of the other wheelbases right now, but other companies, they'll have this doily cable. So if it starts spinning on your hub or on your wheelbase, you might actually get the cable to wrap up. They're making wireless sets now, but I do like this wireless setup with Fanatec. That's why I went with it. It's just easier. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let's go ahead and get this together. So we'll put this hub right here in the module, and we'll get the wheel out because this thing I was actually quite impressed with. So again, typical Fanatec box. It's got a little Porsche picture on there. It's gonna probably cover me up a lot. So let's go ahead and 86 that. Okay, so there is screws. These are longer, so these will not be used because these are going to be way too short. This is probably in order for you to mount it on the universal hub. So those screws will not be used. I'll get this box out of the way. My big pile of trash down there. Comes neatly wrapped in foam, taped up. And the wheel itself, I was actually more impressed with it. I thought it'd be more of the suede type on my Olo rim that I have with Fanatec, but this actually feels more like real Alcantara. I know they put it down as micro suede, but it smells like leather Alcantara. So I don't know if I have it labeled wrong or I don't know exactly what genuine Alcantara smells like, although my Subaru has it. But it feels and looks like it. It feels really nice, especially I think if I put my gloves on, it'll feel real good. I want to say the wheel diameter is 300 or 310 millimeters. I'm going to go with 300. That's the main reason I bought it. We can compare this if you want to. I might as well do that right here since I have the help. And this is just a live stream. Whoop. Again, like I said, I'm going to lose these components here. Let's get these screws open since that's what I'm going to use to mount these without flinging these everywhere. Get out of there. Get out of there. There we go. So plastic. Yeah, I think we're going to definitely need these long ones. Preston, can you do me a favor and hand me both those wheels, please?
Yep.
All right, so this is my, you just kind of lean over. We'll do this one at a time. So off screen, I have my son handing me the Formula V2. So this wheel is fantastic. I'm gonna grab that one too. We'll set this off to the side right here. Set it down. This is the Formula V2, not to get too off subject, but it's using the same Podium shifter modules as this one will be. These are using these smaller ones. because it's an F1 wheel. But in relation to how big this wheel is, it's slightly bigger, but it's a huge difference because F1 wheels do make a gigantic difference in regards to turning radius. F1 does not have many rotations to it. I forgot what the actual degrees for an F1 wheel, but it's basically like 180. This is full lock, that's full lock. Whereas on a GT3 wheel, you're gonna have more, it's more of like 1.5 turns to full lock. So that's what I need a bigger wheel for, because I can't do GT3 with this wheel anymore. It's driving me insane. We're gonna stick this wheel out of the way. And then I have my rally wheel, which apparently Fanatec has announced that they're going to be doing a podium rally wheel, which I'm excited for. This does not fit great on my DD2. There is some play, but that's because this is a universal hub. Universal hub I don't think has the same tolerances that the DD2 does. It fits, but there is some shaft play like this. So I'm hoping the DD2 paired with that podium rally wheel will be fantastic. But this is the big wheel I use for rally. And the reason I needed this wheel is because this wheel is too big. I cannot use this for GT3 cars and basically every other car on the planet that I drive in my sims, because the wheel's just too big. And you can see how the difference of these sizes are. I mean, just if you put them from the bottom, you can see how big of a difference this wheel is. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it here. It's a huge difference. It's just way too big. This one almost sits right inside it. Way too big of a wheel. So I needed something in between. And that's what this roll, this one's going to fit that roll. So we'll get that out of the way. Kind of off tangent there, but I just kind of wanted to show what they are compared to other ones. So this wheel is going to sit on top of the podium module. Everything, ooh, excuse me. Everything gets stacked on top of here. So there's the top. Here's the top. We'll plug it in here in a second. And you're going to have to look down through the holes, make sure they're lined up, which they are. Make sure that's the top. Yep, top. And lined up. This wheel again is very beautiful. It does actually have a Porsche logo in it. This thing is, I want to say, trademarked or sanctioned or approved by Porsche. So this is going to be as close as a replica you're going to get. So I think it's amazing. Porsche is one of my favorite car brands. So set it on top, line it up. We'll use the longer screws because you have all this extra material plus the podium module in the way. Oh, and I'm losing some of these screws over here. And it should be, it's a different size. It's not gonna be the same size, is it? Nope. So we need new bits for that one. And that one's gonna be the 7mm. No. 6. Yep. So that's not marked. I'm assuming 6mm because there's 5, 5.5, and 6 when it comes to Allen. So 6mm for these long screws, and we'll just go ahead and screw these in by hand because I don't want to cross thread this. And again, I might go back with blue Loctite. Put this in. And we'll thread these down. Again, just where it's touching, so everything gets nice and centered. How's the lighting? Is it looking all right? Mm-hmm. And because I'm OCD and I typically work on cars, I will go in a star pattern, so across from one another, just like you're putting on lugs. So diagonal until it just touches and stops. Go across until it stops. And then because I hit this certain point, I'll just go over here because it's across. It's probably not necessary, but it's just part of my OCD, I guess. Until it stops. And then we'll do this one. And then I'll go ahead and snug these up. Again in a cross patch pattern. And I may come back with Loctite, I don't know, we'll see. I haven't had anything come undone on me with my other wheels, but you never know. That one's loose. There we go. Go back around. And it seems all tight. And then we'll pause for a moment because I have family members coming home. No, don't stop. I can edit that out. But since it's a live stream, and I don't think anybody's watching anyways, I'll wait till family members go through, and I'll sit here and talk for a second. I'll let them know they're coming through. This is a family house, so there's gonna be some auditorial. That's it. Some audio issues, but again, first time streaming. So there's that. So this all put together, and I'm actually quite satisfied with this. And then we'll take this USB and plug it in the bottom. And since it's USB-C, it doesn't really matter as long as you're not twisting the cable up. There we go. That's nice. That's a nice little package. And then the paddle shifters might actually have to put, for my hands, might have to put the spacers closer to me because I don't like reaching for things. I already have to reach for that. It's crazy. I might actually have to bring these clutch paddles to the opposite side for me to reach. So these will have to get swapped to the other side because I can't reach. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's swap these clutch paddles around. And because you can't automatically go to the other side, you can't take this one and keep it on the same side because there is beveled recesses where the screws are at. So these essentially have to swap places. So there's that. You want to go out there and let them know to be quiet, please. So we'll take the screws out of here. If I can, save these so I don't lose them. There we go. Put that over here. I'm just going to swap places. Which, I don't know, I'm looking at it. I don't even know if I can. Yeah, I'll have to take the whole thing apart to be able to get to those screws, I think. Because the way this is. Can I even get to it? Nope. Alright, well, I'll have to do that off camera because I don't want to take this thing back apart. But, and honestly, I don't know if I'll even use the clutch that much on a GT3 car. I don't know if I'll use the flappy paddle clutches. If I do, I'll take this apart off camera. I don't want to waste time on here. Put this back together. Come on, need a screw. So yeah, I can't put these on here. I can, but I'll have to take this whole button module wheel off. So to make adjustments, I'll have to take this apart. And you'll have to do it with your own. You'll have to take this apart and make your own minor adjustments. But the purpose of this stream and video, I just want to put it all together. So somebody who's interested in purchasing this item, they can see what it looks like. And I can make all my own personal adjustments later. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So more likely, so I'll put it together and I'll make my own personal adjustments because I'll have to take this off to get to the screws from this angle because I'm going to have to bring them in closer. So I'll assemble it for the stream and then later on I'll go and make my own personal touches to it. So the next step will be to get these shifter paddles, and you're going to use the ones that have the plus and minus on it. So we'll pop the plus and minus out. There we go. And these inside ones are just like the F1 wheel. You're not going to use these two, you're going to use the outside two. And these will be your auxiliary, which not really used in GT3, but we're still going to put them on there. And we'll set these spares aside just in case you do, for some reason, want to swap this hub to something else and use it on a different wheel, which I don't know why you would. But so I'd like to start off with the big paddles. And since upshift is always going to be on the right, plus is going to be on the right-hand side. Can we see here? I'll try to keep this on my chest so it's somewhat in frame. So I'll go ahead and mount it on here. And I'll use a little spacer. These little rounded off spacers they're quite nice looking actually. So I can hold this up. Grab one of these screws and we'll go ahead and put it through a little flappy paddle on top of here and through a spacer. And actually we're going to do it the other way. So we're going to have to go over here. All right. Anyways, so these carbon fiber pieces actually have beveled recesses in them, which, if it's mounted on there, how is it supposed to? It's going to have to go this way. It's going to have to be mounted on. I don't know if I can't access that. That's crazy, because I can't mount it upside down. It's going to have to go on this way. Interesting. All right, well, for the sake of this, again, I'll go ahead and adjust these later, but I'm just going to go ahead and run these screws in to hold it in place. It's not the correct way to hold it in place. There is a bevel on these the shifter paddles to where the screw then sits flush. It'll sit flush in there. If it's on the other side, it'll pop out and it's not going to sit correctly. So there's a correct way of putting it together. And when you get yours, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But for the time being, I'm going to install it kind of the wrong way because I have to take this thing back apart and set up my shifters the way I want. But to show you what I'm talking about, the paddle shifters will get installed here. And I'm going to install these loosely because I don't want to damage the carbon fiber. But I do want to show how this wheel's set up. So there's that one. We'll get another screw. And set that in here. And let's put this on there snug so we can see. All right. And then we're going to take one of these little itty bitty, I want to say that's maybe a gold carbon fiber, which is a nice touch because it matches the gold. And then it's going to sit in the recess on that other paddle right in here. Now this is where it's going to be weird because these do sit so close together. Accessing this might be difficult. So if you have this one brought in, leave this one on a different level. So it's not going to sit on the same level. So you can reach back behind and access this one without having to access your shifter up paddle. It's kind of a janky position for it, but I'd recommend if this one's on a different level, use this on either flush or on its own step. You have to see what I'm talking about, but it's one of those things you'll see when you get it in person. So you have the long screws, like I said, which are for, which I think I use a short screw right here. Let's pull that out of there. I wasn't paying attention to that. So the long screws that come with this kit are for the big paddles because you're going to be using spacers. All right, let's get that on there. And then the short screws, you're not necessarily going to be using spacers with, like I was talking about. You want to be on a different plane or a different level. So you're going to put these on there like that. Now these are going to go on the front side right here, so it's on a different level. Again, I'm not installing these right, but I don't want to take this thing back apart. But the short screws will be used to install these. These things are itty bitty. So I'm trying to get this where you guys can see. So I'll throw that in there, and then we'll grab another screw. That's the small one. The small goes for the small paddles, the big go for the big paddles. And these don't use spacers because there's only 4 of them, and there's only 4 screws for the big paddles. So let's go ahead and snug that on there a little loosely. We'll get the big ones back over here for the big paddle. And again, gets installed. I'll reiterate, it's not the correct way, but I don't want to take this apart on stream. Ooh, hello magnet. That. All right, so then we got the small screws. That's another thing I like about this driver kit is that the tips are magnetic. Makes grabbing things easier. And we'll put this one on here. And we'll be almost done. There we go. Screw. All right, and again, this is all loosely put on here. So now, even though if it's flush with that, that almost feels too far away. So I'm gonna have to bring a step in with the spacer. I don't understand how you're going to activate these. These must be for, I don't know what you're using for, but it's a nice touch that they have them. But there we go, there's the finished wheel. It's a pretty nice wheel. I'm actually quite impressed with the quality. This thing does cost a ton of money. With the button pack, I think it was roughly with shipping $700. This is not cheap. This is for the Serious Sim Racer, and there are wheels out that are more expensive. You can buy actual racing wheels and wheels that go for semi-cubes that are up in the $1,200 range. That's outside my price range. This is just inside my price range, which is still pretty hefty for some people. But I'm actually pretty pleased with it. It's kind of nice. I shouldn't say it's kind of nice. It's really nice. I like the Alcantara. The overall weight is just hefty. If I compare this to my other wheels, the F1 wheel compared to this wheel, yeah, this thing's at least 3 pounds heavier. It feels almost double the weight than this F1 wheel. So we'll go ahead and put this over here. There's an F1 wheel. And then where did I do with my rally wheel? There it is. So my rally wheel. This thing's nothing. This thing weighs nothing. It's probably triple the weight of my setup here. So there's that one. So there's all 3 wheels for you to look at. I will probably do some more videos later on utilizing this wheel. So let's put this one front and center, right? Because that's the important one. There we go. You can see. Cool. So if anybody has any questions regarding how it's performing, wants a review, I don't like doing reviews because I'm not the type of person to get a product in and give it a review the same day or give it a review in a week. I'm the type of person that wants to use it for months. I want to abuse it. I want to use it. I want to utilize it to what it's built for and then give a proper review. So I'll probably never do reviews on this channel. If companies want to send me products to review or try out, by all means, contact me. I will beat your products up. Like Asher Racing, for the Podium 2, the DD2 setup in the Podium 1, Asher Racing's push-pull rally paddle shifter, he and I actually collaborated to a degree to get that thing fixed for the DD2 and the DD1 platform because I am rough with my equipment and the brackets that were being used on my DD2 were bending and causing issues. So he made a variation of the DD2 bracket because we were using the Club Sport. The screws that mount on the DD2 and the Club Sport are the same in regards to using their proprietary flappy paddle system, which is all fine and dandy, but if you're using other components like Asher Racing's push-pull rally paddle, the bracket was actually bending on upshifts and it kept coming away from the actual DD2 wheel system. And when I was going into turns, the wheel would actually grab and snag the Asher Racing paddle shifter and it would tear my hand up because it just wasn't adequate. So, long story short, I guess, because of me, he designed a new bracket for it, which is amazing. If anybody wants me to make a quick video on that, it's an amazing rally paddle shifter. For the price, Fanatec's gonna have to come in with something amazing to compete against that thing. Anyways, good enough tangent here. So today's stream was about the 911 GT3 R, the podium wheel. This is one of the actual first podium wheels that Fanatec has put out for their DD1 and DD2 system. I want to say that this one technically is, but it's not. This one I want to say is Club Sport. This is probably the closest you can get to a podium, but I think what makes it a podium is by having the podium module on here. It's the actual adapter piece. And this is the universal hub, which is all labeled with the type of buttons with Xbox, and then this one's the actual podium hub. So I think that's what's making it legitimately podium. So we get these wheels out of the way. So this one might be Club Sport, but you can also see the height differences in these wheels, how much farther away it's going to be from your actual wheelbase. This one sits pretty far away as it is, and for an F1 wheel it's nice and tight, but man, this is at least a good couple inches farther away. So take that in a note. If you don't have enough space coming off the DD1, DD2, because the shaft on there is quite large and quite long, this is actually going to push the wheel out even closer to you. So if you don't have a way to adjust your seat like I do, you might have to adjust where your wheelbase is at, or just take into consideration that this is considerably longer than, I don't know if we can get that in the frame here, considerably longer than another wheel. Actually, matter of fact, now I'm curious, how does that compare to the universal hub? If I have 30 hands to do this, there we go. So we put this 1-to-1. So it's actually seems to be kind of shorter, so it's in between. That's good. So I've got a lot of use with the universal hub and my rally wheel. I don't know if anybody can see that, but it looks like it's maybe ½ inch to an inch at the most shorter. So this seems to be like it actually a good length in terms of on the shaft of the DD1, DD2. So this one sticks out quite far. There's not much else I can say about this wheel. I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm pretty pleased with the construction. It definitely feels like what you pay for. It definitely feels like a $700 product. It doesn't feel like something cheap. Like I used to run Thrustmaster products. Not bashing Thrustmaster. If anybody uses them, again, not bashing them. They're a great product, but man, this is light years ahead of a Thrustmaster wheel. My favorite wheel used to be the Thrustmaster Ferrari. What was it? A Ferrari? I can't remember what the wheel is, but it's a Ferrari. God, what was it? It's their Ferrari wheel that actually has the red stripe in it. For the life of me, I can't remember what it is. But just from my knowledge and comparing this to that thing, that Thrustmaster wheel feels like a toy. This thing feels pretty close to an automotive wheel that I could. And Thrustmaster feels like a cheap toy. Thrustmaster's a good product, but Fanatec just feels way better. And then if you also look at Asher Racing or Simucube's products, those products are probably like a small step, but a step above Fanatec. But for the general consumer like me, amazing wheel. Anyways, I'm rambling. This is probably going to be too long of a stream. I just wanted to put this together, and I'll post up either an edited or an unedited version. How long are we into this?
50 minutes.
50? I'll probably edit this down, the build, for people who want to watch the build and not listen to me ramble. So if anybody has any questions regarding this product and how I'm enjoying it, or if you have certain considerations on spacing of paddle shifters, or any kind of question you may have regarding this wheel, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. I do, and that's when I upload this in, not the live, but the actual edited recording. If you do have any questions about this wheel, drop a comment down below. I will answer them as quick as possible. I try to be quick and fast and prompt when it comes to people asking comments. I've seen people, you can hear the elephants upstairs. I try to be fast when it comes to answering questions that anybody has. I try to stay relevant and aware of people that may be interested in my videos. I know I'm a nobody on YouTube. Doesn't bother me. I have no problem. I like doing this stuff because I'm bored and I'm fun and learning new things. So if you have a question, drop it down. I'll answer as quick as possible. Anyways, to wrap this up, I guess this is pretty much done with the stream. I know nobody's watching. Nobody's watching, right?
Maybe
You.
one person?
You. If anybody's watching this, drop a comment down below, or give me a notation that you're watching this, because I'm curious. What?
The chat.
Yeah, drop a comment in chat. I'm pretty sure it's nobody watching this. There's one person. It's either you, Preston, on your phone, or if whoever it is, if you are actually watching this, I appreciate it. The fact that anybody wants to watch me ramble on and build a wheel is pretty cool to me. But I'm going to consider this the end of the stream. But I'm going to sit here on stream just in case anybody catches the tail end of this. I'm going to make the adjustments to the wheel for my paddle shifters on camera because I got nothing else better to do, and I got to do it anyways. But in terms of the video, I'm just going to end it here. I'll edit all this out. So I'm going to go ahead and take all this apart and then actually adjust my paddle shifters. But I'm kind of glad I got it together because now I know where I need to stick things. Now I know where everything needs to go. So these need to be brought in. These need to be brought on the inside, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm glad I didn't Loctite any of this. It was the wrong bit. It's over here. Alright, let's go ahead and take this apart. Yeah, torque goes on there, didn't I? So that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the paddle shifters on. For my own reference, because this is not going to be very, I'm going to edit all this out anyways. How's the lighting look?
It's pretty good.
Because I've never streamed before. This is literally my first time streaming. So I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm learning. I'm trying to make it kind of professional looking. I don't want to be that random dude in his basement. Because I am that random dude in the basement. There's all these screws. And before I do that, so let's take this wheel off. There's that. And then this needs to be unplugged. So there's that and that. So over here I don't scratch anything up. Okay, so let's adjust these. So all these paddles are gonna have to come off. Oops, wrong bit, right? It's gonna be the small one. Get out of there. Get out of there. Janky tablecloth here. So undo all that. Oh my god. How's it looking?
Good.
Like, how's the lighting? Is it alright looking? Could it be better? Could it be worse? What?
It could definitely be worse.
But I'm saying it looks okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I might actually relabel this scene to be maybe like a tabletop. I'll call it my tabletop, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna make markings of where this table's at, so we'll make markings of all this stuff to quick set everything up. Because the camera, I'll have to adjust the camera, but that's easy because the camera's already set in a position. Alright, so we'll go ahead and add these spacers without losing all these tiny little pieces. We got a new tabletop here. Alright, So we'll get the screw in a little recess. What is that? Little threads. Hello, threads. A piece of shaving. That was a metal shaving. Interesting. All right, so we'll put that there. And what was I doing? So I need to bring these in. This is where the trickiness comes into play. Let's go ahead and put this in here. Get that started. There we go. So I need to put these ones in there. It's a long one and a spacer. It's kind of a tricky little maneuver. Ooh, especially with this magnet. That's neat. It just said, screw you. Wow. This is a little finagly. Get this spacer. Wow. Without having this magnet steal it from you. Alright, let's stick this screw down here first. And then toss it up in there. Which doesn't steal my spacer. Leave me alone, magnet. There we go. Get it going. This looks better. Alright, so we'll go ahead and cinch these down. And since it'll self-center, because it's tapered, I'll go ahead and cinch these down. That should be good. Not too tight. I don't want to break this carbon fiber. There we go. There we go. That seems good. I do want to let's bring these clutch shifters to the other sides, because I don't like how far out these are, because I'll never access those. And I do like in a set of Porsche GT3, or a set of Porsche Competizione, because the GT3 cars, you do use clutch. I don't like using the foot clutch as I do like using these. These things are pretty handy to have. And they're on there, why might as well use them. Yeah, quit stealing my bit. So, pop that out. So next time I do this, if this turns out all right, if I have any more products or whatnot, or anything else I want to live stream about, if anybody wants me to live stream about anything, I'll do it. But this is just mainly a test. That's why it's kind of an impromptu, out of nowhere stream, because I didn't really want to put that out there like, oh, I'm streaming, everybody, look at me, and then not know what I'm doing and look like a complete idiot. So this needs to go here. So I wanted to run this as a test. But in the meantime, make a half-assed video as well. And hopefully the video will only be like 20, 30 minutes, because I'll cut out a lot of this rambling. Or I could just leave it. I mean, I could just put full live stream. And I'll keep the video. If I don't lose these screws. There'd you go. There it is. Magnet stealing stuff again. And if people want to see it, because I want to bring this in closer. If people want to see it edited, I'll read it. Like, I'll keep the video around. I'll edit it, but I might as well just post this live stream. If somebody's that bored, they want to sit here for an hour and watch me ramble into a microphone building something. All right, cinched in there. Here we go. Yeah, I like that better. That's more in line. Wow, that really brings it in. Wow. Okay, cool. All right, let's get this one on here. So now where is this gonna go? Is this gonna sit flush? Okay, so if that sits flush, I can access that better. Or if I go and flip it like this on the other side, I might just do that since these are short. Again, this all comes down to personal preference on how you want the flappy paddles set up. Let's keep these over here away from that. It all comes down to personal preference, and I like mine a certain way. So if I brought this over here because of the tapered holes, and I keep it out, yeah, that steps it farther away, and when I depress it, it doesn't come close to hitting it. So if it's right here, I'll probably end up shifting up the paddle. So I want these completely on their own. So I will bring that on the outside. Man, these magnets, they are strong. I think they're neodymium magnets, I think. That sounds right. Let's grab that. And cinch that down. Again, don't want to break this carbon fiber. That's nice and tight. So how does that feel? Yeah, there we go. Because I'm pretty sure I won't be able to use these anyways, because this So if I do it like that, so one side done. Let's get this somewhat put together. Not put together, but test fit, because I want to make sure this feels right. Sandwich this all together. Oh yeah, that feels much better. And then I'll have to access that. Yeah, that'd be better. So I'm not having to reach, because with gloves on, it is going to increase the distance in which I have this. But once I'll send it cinched down, that seems way better. And this is way out there on its own, so I'll never access that. So that'll work. That works. Let's get this out here. Now let's do the other side. And it doesn't take long to adjust this. Let's get the clutch. So the clutch needs to go on this side with the small screws. Let's get that on there. Get the second one in there before we cinch it down. There we go, cinch that down. Since that's metal, you can kind of crank it down. Here we go. Now I'm going to take that paddle shifter off because it's on the wrong side. It's a long screw. These damn magnets. And I'm not trying to ignore you, Mr. Camera people, and everything. Everybody on the fourth wall. I'm just trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, so now we're going to use these spacers. This time we're going to install them both at the same time, so I'm not having to fight them. That's what I should have done the first time. The screws, then spacers, and then I can just set it on here. Like that. And then throw them in one at a time. Make sure they're biting. There we go. Cool. Snug. I don't want to break the carbon fiber. There we go. Clutch is good, flappy paddle's good, and the final one is the gold one. We'll do the same thing. Install that one, and then we'll be done. Well, after we put this back together. But just that. I need to put a new cloth down. This thing's not working very well. And then that. Just cinch that down. Break that carbon fiber. I will say I kind of wish the carbon fiber was a little bit thicker. I'm sure they've done their testing and that this carbon fiber is not going to break because this carbon fiber is quite strong. But it feels kind of flimsy. I don't know, maybe another millimeter thick, maybe some 3 or 4 millimeter carbon fiber. I understand they did it for weight, but I think slightly thicker carbon fiber, Fanatec, in my personal opinion. I've been sim racing for quite a long time, and just if I have one complaint with this, and it's not even a complaint because I haven't used it yet, is the carbon fiber just feels a little too thin. Yeah, maybe 1 mil, 2 more mils thick on both pieces. Maybe not necessarily this one because there's not much leverage, but if you're reaching up here, there is some flex to it. Like you can see maybe on camera here, there's some flex. Is that picking up at all? The flex on it. And these are cinched down. I think it's cinched down, unless it just loosened up on me. Yes, that's cinched down. So there's some flex. I'm pretty sure that's not gonna hurt anything, but this is flexing. And that's not the button, it's carbon fiber and a little bit of the paddle, but anyway, it's not a complaint, but I would just recommend them if they can sport it, a little bit thicker carbon fiber. So let's put this back together. Where's the top again? There's the top. And the podium endurance. Line that up. And your wheel. Line that up. And then we'll drop in. Am I missing something here? What are those 4 mini screws for? Are those just extra screws? We got 4 little mini extra screws. Yeah, everything's on. Okay, I guess they're extra screws, just in case you lose one because they're small. Well, that's nice, they included extra screws. Alright, let's get these put all back on here. And then mount it all up, and I'll call it probably done. How long are we at right now?
An hour and 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think I'll just leave it the way it is. And if people want to just scroll through, they can. It's up to you guys. If anybody does watch this, if anybody makes it this far, you deserve an award. There we go. And we need the big driver, right? Yeah. Screw these down. Maybe. Nope. Medium driver, there it is. There we go. Screw it down. I want to scratch this. All right, cinch these down. I guess we'll call it good here in a minute. Cinch that down. There we go. All right, all said and done, and now it feels. Oh yeah, that's way better. That's fantastic. And then the clutch, because you're not using that a lot, you can still reach over and grab it. That works pretty good. And then these extra little paddles up here, I'm not sure what I'd use that for in GT3, but they're there, so if I need to reach that, I might make those high beams or something. I can reach over without activating. Yeah, I'll have to reach around. Reach around. Cool. All right. Well, that is the Fanatec Podium 911 GT3 wheel, the GT3 R wheel. If you enjoyed this stream, let me know down below. Again, this was my very first one ever, so please don't be mean. No, I'm just kidding. Be mean. That's the only way I'm going to learn. If you have any tips, secrets, comments, tricks, call me dirty names, drop it down below. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Stay safe.